Hey, everyone, and welcome to the Mark Prater podcast, where our aim is to connect our global family of churches to our executive director. Mark, we are at the end of November. We're recording this during Thanksgiving week. There's only a few more weeks left in the year, and this is a typically very busy time of the year for pastors, planning, thinking about the next year, all of the things that are connected with that. What encouragement would you have for us as pastors in Sovereign Grace churches as we work through this busy season?
First, just thanks for working hard over the next 5 to 6 weeks in what is typically a busy time for pastors, as you said, Ben. My main thought, though, is we need the power of God. And
yes.
I say that because we are men who are aware of our weakness. In 2020, I just thank God for 2020 in the way that God has used it to reveal my limitations and weaknesses. I think every pastor listening has felt that limitation. We feel our finiteness in ways we've had to lead through challenges this year.
Amen.
And those moments of being aware of our weakness are opportunities to pray for power. And Paul was a man who regularly prayed for power for himself and for the people that he pastored and cared for. There are two of his prayers recorded in Ephesians. In Ephesians 3, he prays for power for two reasons: that we may grow in Christ's likeness. And then he prays for power that we would grasp that wonderful verse, the height and the breadth and the length and the depth of Christ's love for us.
Yes.
But in Ephesians 1, he prays for power in a little different way. And I think probably sets sort of the table for Ephesians 3, that prayer, the second prayer that's recorded. So in Ephesians 1, this is what he prays for the Ephesians in verses 19 and 20, just a part of that prayer. And what is the immeasurable greatness of his power toward us who believe, according to the working of his great might, that he worked in Christ when he raised him from the dead and seated him at the right hand in the heavenly places.
Yeah.
Just this wonderful way to
Wonderful.
pray for power. And I just want to mention a quote from Peter T. O'Brien's commentary, and it gives me a chance to do a quick rabbit trail. If you haven't taken advantage of the new bibliography that Jeff Purswell has created, that's on the Sovereign Grace Pastors College website, you've got to go there. And
yes, you got to go.
This is what Jeff says about Peter T. O'Brien's commentary in Ephesians. He writes, "This remains our first choice for the pastor: careful exegesis, exquisite judgment, pastoral wisdom, theologically attuned, in a warmth of style that makes it a joy to use." That's Purswellian, isn't it?
Purswellian.
It is Jeff Purswell at his best. So this is what Peter T. O'Brien says about verses 19 and 20 that I just read. "So the power with which God works in the lives of believers is the same might by which he raised Christ from death to share his throne." And that is just a faith-building quote that stirs me to want to pray for power more. The same power that raised Christ from the dead is that power that we have when we ask for it in prayer. So brothers, be praying for power over these next 5 to 6 weeks as you work very, very hard.
Excellent. Yeah, and thanks, Jeff, for putting together that bibliography. It's gratifying to see as well that those outside of Sovereign Grace, I saw Justin Taylor tweeted out about that. And so potentially serving those outside of our denomination is a wonderful thing. But Mark, what a wonderful prayer to highlight for us as pastors. Any thoughts about applying that maybe a little bit more specifically, just briefly as we think through that?
Two thoughts. First, as pastors, pray for yourself. Pray that God would grant you power, especially in those moments of weakness. And what I mean by weakness, I don't mean just physical weakness, but you're feeling tired, or you don't know what to do, or you've got to make another leadership decision that's very agonizing. Those are moments to pray that God would grant you power. And I think a
Wonderful.
pastor who regularly prays for power for himself is sort of then attuned to pray for the members of his church in that same
Right.
manner, which is my second really exhortation or recommendation. Pray often for the members of your church that they would be granted the power that raised Christ from the dead, that they would experience that power. And may
Yes.
that be just one of the ways that you care for your flock.
Wonderful. What a wonderful encouragement that is, Mark. And as we think as pastors about these weeks ahead, may God do just that in us and in our churches, grant us power according to his great might. Thanks, Mark. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you here soon. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching. If you have questions or comments, Mark would love to hear from you. For more videos like this, hit subscribe on YouTube or by email at markkprater.com.